Hey everybody, what's going on? Kyle here, and I'm the Geekin Dad. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a follow-up video on the last one we did, where we took apart, figured out what was broken with this HP Envy 15-inch 2-in-1 tablet laptop device. We got it working. I've been using it as my daily laptop driver for a couple of weeks now, and while it may be a 2-year-old going on a 3-year-old device, I think it's worth going ahead and taking a look at it and giving it a review. So in today's video, it's exactly what we're gonna do. Okay, so like with all device reviews, I think the best place to start is going to be to go over the specs of the device. This is definitely a 2-in-1 device with a detachable keyboard and mouse pad that connects to a main laptop via Bluetooth. Now, the thing about the keyboard that is nice is that because it is separate and does have to be paired, is that if you're not using it, you can turn it off and save the battery life of the keyboard itself. Speaking of the keyboard, taking a look at it, it has a nice layout that I think is actually probably one of the better layouts on a device like this. The enter key is a nice size, the backspace key is relatively normal. The main typing area is a standard feel and comfortable to work with. And the arrow keys, while small, and the up and down are taking up the space of a single key, it's pretty effective, and really and truly it's just a nice layout for this kind of device. If we dive inside the laptop, we have a Broadwell hyper-threaded Intel Core M5Y70 CPU. Now that processor is a 4.5 watt TDP CPU with a base clock of 1.1 gigahertz and a boost clock up to 2.6 gigahertz. Another thing that's great about this laptop is that it is really snappy, and that is helped by the 500 gigabyte hard drive that is actually a hybrid hard drive with 16 gigs of flash storage as a cache. The other part of helping keeping this thing be a snappy laptop is the 8 gigs of internal memory. That 8 gigs does do a good job of being able to manage and handle whatever you're going to throw at it for what you're doing. The one main area where this laptop excels, though, is definitely, in my opinion, the display. It's a proper 1920 by 1080p 15.6 inch display that is really nice, at least compared to the devices that I've had in my hands today or anything in the past, really. From a connectivity standpoint, we have an 802.11ac wireless NIC for network connectivity as well as Bluetooth. Ports on here, we have 2 USB 3.0 ports, and these are going to be Gen 1, if you will, so the 5 gigabits per second. 5 gigabits per second. We've got an HDMI out port. We have a single headphone microphone combo jack. We have an SD card reader, which is really nice, and we obviously have our power adapter. On the left side, we also have our volume rocker for up and down, and we have our fixed power button on the top right. Another major selling point of this device back in its heyday are the massive front speakers. They're advertising 4 front-facing speakers by Beats Audio. That's obviously 2 on the left and the right. They sound meh, but they get loud enough to be able to watch anything with, you know, a little bit going on around you. If there's too much going on around you, though, you're going to want to put headphones on. Okay, so final thoughts and conclusions. Overall, I'm really happy with this device. I am using it to replace my bulkier MSI GS70 Stealth 17-inch behemoth of a laptop. It's not a behemoth, but compared to this, it is. And the fact that it's only, I didn't mention this earlier, but the fact that it's only like 5 pounds basically, it's a good weight for this device, I think, too. I know things have come down in weight, but because we have a good sized battery in here, we're getting good battery life of several hours, probably about 4 good usable hours on it. Again, we've got 2.5 or so years of degradation and everything like that to consider when we talk about that, but still, I was able to use it throughout the day several times and not really have any issues with it. And yeah, the battery might be dead or close to it by the time I get home, but by the time I get home, I'm ready to switch over to another device such as my desktop or something like that, so it's not a big deal for me. I personally am super duper happy that I took the time to dig into this thing, crack it open, and get it fixed up, because I have a nice replacement for what was a very heavy laptop that I can carry with me daily now. And because it was a scavenged device, I am less concerned about things like loss or theft, honestly. I know it sounds silly, but I've got something that I can use really comfortably. If I need to use it as a tablet, I can. If I want to use it as a laptop, I can. If I'm at a client's and internet's down, I can pop this up. I can connect to the hotspot on my phone, and I can, just go to town working and troubleshooting and researching problems and all that fun stuff. Or I can pop it in tablet mode and use the on-screen keyboard. And when my daughter wants to watch something, I can pop this in tablet mode and do that as well. One of the major drawbacks I do have about this device, though, is the kickstand that it uses. It's using this kickstand that is just, in my opinion, too narrow for proper lap use. I had to find ways to kind of cock the laptop in just the right position so that I could comfortably type on this. Most normal positions that you're going to want to put this on your lap, it's not very comfortable, because if you're like me, or even half the size of me, it's going to dig into the inner thighs on both of your legs if you have it in your lap and you're trying to type with it. And that's actually really, really uncomfortable, obviously. So the fact that you have to kind of like set it off on, you have to pick a leg and kind of get it to counterbalance and leverage out right. So because you have to do all that, that's a pretty big drawback for me for this, but it's one that can be worked around in my case. It's one that's not a big deal because I found it. It's a nuisance, sure, and if I had paid for it, I think I would be much more annoyed by the fact that it's not a good laptop. It's really uncomfortable, but because of, the circumstances of this, it's a nuisance I'm going to deal with, obviously. But like I said, you can take this thing and not use the keyboard. You can put it in tablet mode and use the on-screen keyboard. That kind of fixes it in a way. So there's that too. I have to say, all in all, I'm happy with it. I did some research to see if you could still pick one up today, and I'm seeing used ones going for like anywhere from $300 to $400. Some of them even are, some people are trying to get more than that for it. But I think if you're looking for something that's just going to be like a good quality device that you can, take with you on the daily, if you're heavier on your equipment or something like that, or if you're concerned about loss or theft or something along those lines, if you can find one for under $300 that's in good physical condition and working, I honestly would have to say, if you can find one, pick one up, because you're going to be happy with it. The keyboard, like I said, it's a really wonderful typing experience. Trackpad, I can do away with. I don't care. I'll use my portable mouse. Thank you very much. But overall, I have to say I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy that I got it back up and running, and I'm really happy I have this as my daily carry with me now. So I think that about sums it up. I know I've rambled on for quite some time now. Thank you all so very much for watching, and so until next time, geek on.